The first point I want to make is a distinction between faith and reason. A distinction between faith and reason. And this distinction symbolizes, articulates, stands for two ways in which we can come to knowledge. We come to knowledge by faith, as from above, as coming from God. We come to knowledge through reason, as from below, as from our senses. So what we know by reason alone, all the knowledge of the things comes from our senses, comes from our experience, we think about it, and we reach a truth. What we know by faith is revealed to us from above, and it doesn't come from our senses, except accidentally in the sense that you need the faith preached to you, someone needs to tell it to you, but the source of the information is from God. So what are the boundaries of each? Basically, everything contained in the Ten Commandments are things we can know by reason alone. I don't need God to tell me, all right, it's wrong to kill someone, yeah? You've heard that one before. And yeah, that's right. You don't need God to tell you that killing someone is wrong. You can know from reason alone. Same with adultery, same with theft, same with covetousness. On the other hand, no amount of thinking, no amount of cogitation, no amount of walking by the seaside and strolling and thinking will ever get to a knowledge of the Trinity or a knowledge of consubstantiation. These truths have been revealed by God and are truths which we ourselves never could have reached, not even if we had an infinite amount of times. It's simply not in our nature to know. Nevertheless, what God reveals by faith is still reasonable. It's still reasonable. It doesn't contradict anything which we know by reason. There are no contradictions in divine revelation, and nothing in divine revelation contradicts what we know by reason. Which makes sense, because truth is one whole. Truth doesn't contradict itself. So there are some things we know by faith alone. God is a Trinity, consubstantiation, the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin, the Immaculate Conception. The list goes on. But God also revealed by faith things which we know by reason. For example, you don't need God to tell you that murder is wrong. But God still has told us that murder is wrong in the Ten Commandments. You don't need God to tell you that adultery is wrong. But God has still divinely revealed that adultery is wrong. So there are philosophical proofs, there are philosophical arguments for why murder is wrong, but it's also something which God has divinely revealed. On the other hand, there can be no philosophical arguments, that is, arguments from reason, arguments from the senses, that God is a Trinity. Still, that God is a Trinity is reasonable. It doesn't contradict what we know already. And the distinction is made in the Scriptures when our Lord asks the apostles, he either says, "Who do people say I am?" or "Who am I?" And then Peter says, "Thou art Christ, the Son of the living God." And our Lord responds, "Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, because flesh and blood hath not revealed it to thee, but my Father who is in heaven." In other words, God gave the knowledge to Peter. God gave the knowledge by grace that our Lord is God. He didn't get it from the senses. And this matches how faith is a grace. God needs to give it to you.